Now I invite Dr.D.M Professor in that and Academic Coordinator of this college to present a bouquet to our keynote speaker from Solution Channel. Editor ICSS.
Our guest of honor, Professor L.C. Malay sir, will be joining us very shortly. Now, I cordially invite Dr.D.M Swamy sir, Head Department of Economics and Academic. Now, on to the next.
And humble request to Dr.D.M Assistant Professor in Physics to welcome our convener Dr.D. Swamy sir.
I request Ram Lakshmi Madam to present a bouquet to our Swamy sir. Now I cordially invite Dr. C. Shantam, Head Department of Political Science, the Dynamic Organizing Secretary of this seminar.
Now I invite Uma Madam, Assistant Professor in Zoology, to present a bouquet to Dr. C.
To light the lamp.
ఇక్కడ అందరూ జాయిన్ చేయండి ఇక్కడ అందరూ జాయిన్ చేయాలి జాయిన్ చేస్తున్నారు
ज्योतिर् ज्योतिषां ज्योतिरोजो वयं सत्त्वं सत्त्वात्मकं संज्योतिरत्नं तस्मै सूक्ष्माय तेजसे नमः. Paramatmika Upanishad explains the importance of Jyoti Prajvalana. I request all the distinguished dignitaries to be seated.
Now I invite our esteemed principal, Dr. D.D. to present our information.
ఇదో లైవ్ ఆల్రెడీ ఈ కాపీ తీసుకొని మీరు రికార్డు రికార్డు సర్లేదా
Indian Council of Social Science Research, Science Research Center, and Head Department of Commerce, Swamy University, Hyderabad. Esteemed Professor L.C. Malaya, Head of the Department of Economics, University, Lucknow. Respected delegates, both online and offline, dear colleagues and beloved students, a very good morning.
దీంట్లో వాట్సాప్ లింక్
To welcome you all to the morning session of the two-day national seminar on socio-economic development of women in the self-help groups in India, organized by the Faculty of Social Sciences of College, Narayanpura. On behalf of the staff and students of the college, and on my own behalf, I would like to take this opportunity to express our deepest gratitude to the Honorable Commissioner, Swamy, for having consented with great kindness and graciousness to be the chief guest of this inaugural session. I wish to express our heartfelt appreciation for Professor P. Shakila, Director of for honoring us with the keynote and also for making it possible for us to conduct the seminar by providing financial support. Thank you, Honorable. I also wish to convey special thanks to Professor L.C. Malaya, Head of the Department of Economics, University, taking the time to join the seminar. I will be very grateful to yourself for joining the school and look forward to your efforts. Now, I'm very happy and grateful that so many distinguished scholars, teachers, and students from all over the country are participating in this seminar, which is being conducted in our hybrid mode. I'm very happy to note that the Faculty of Social Sciences is organizing this, has organized this today's seminar, and I express sincere and deepest gratitude to SSR and SRC once again, and congratulate the Faculty of Social Sciences for taking up the topic that is both contemporary and relevant. The demographic statistics available to date confirm that women constitute almost half of the U.S. population. Yet, their participation in the development process is disproportionate to their numerical strength. The population that requires half of itself cannot progress in the sense of the job. According to Ms. former executive director of women, I quote, there is no great force for change, for justice and democracy, for inclusive economic growth than a world of empowered women. It is in this context that the concept of self-help groups has emerged as an effective strategy which uses self-employment of women as a part. This strategy has been most successful in enhancing the self-confidence of rural and women and honing their decision-making skills, thereby empowering them. I am confident that this seminar will deliberate on issues involved in creating a world of empowered women on board and provide an environment for the free exchange of ideas and views among academicians and researchers. Just like to give a very brief introduction, which is which was established in 1974 by Asia Educational Society in Hyderabad with the local purpose of propagating the ideas of Sri Ram, former living Prime Minister of India, and highest consider of the rights of disadvantaged. In 1989, the college was taken over by the then Faculty of College of Teaching, and since then, the college has been affiliated to the college has functioned in various ways and has shared accommodation with other colleges. Later, a piece of land administering 1649 square yards was alienated by the state government in Victor Valley, Narayanpura. And this was for the construction of the college building, and the college was able to shift into its own permanent building in 2000. The present permanent premises of the college have made it the preferred choice for students and it is centrally located in Little Valley, Varanasi, with access to bus and metro train facilities. Though the college is small, and lacks other physical infrastructure, it makes up for its spacious and space with strict adherence to its policy of maximum utilization of space and resources and exposes excellence in academic development and community service. I would just like to quote the vision of the college, which is to empower youth by providing quality education in order to make them competent, self-reliant, and responsible society builders, professionals, and citizens. The vision of the college is encapsulated in its motto, Jnanam Sarvadaya, which means knowledge to universal benefit. The journey of Dr.D.M of the college from 2015 to 2022 has led to its emergence as one of the leading institutions of higher education. The sheer demand among students from all grades the students went to the curriculum is now moved on the stage. There are 2,500 students this year, 1578 women as students and students that join the college from all across the state. The weekly online services of those today, the college offers 51 programs dedicated to economic related activities. The college has actually created a plan to take transforms. But this development in public perception has come about as a result of the concerted and unceasing efforts of the institution in its quest for excellence. Over the past 2 years, the University of Excellence has been the trust of all the activities of the institution. The journey, however, has been full of obstacles, lending credit to what Dana a blind African American master approach. Excellence is perceived as the presence of obstacles. The college did not have its own building, but then today we have seen the constant endeavor of the principal staff and students to try to create an identity of the institution. There was a great need for improving the perception about the college because not many people knew or were even aware that such a college was situated. Therefore, the task of building up the brand image of the college was done in a very systematic manner. Warren Bennis, a pioneer in the contemporary field of leadership studies, says, of course, leadership is the capacity to translate vision into reality. Higher education in Telangana has undergone a major transformation under the visionary of the honorable every government college in general and now the gentleman college in particular, a most sought after higher education institution. Inspired by such leadership, successive principals have endeavored to strive for excellence in all areas and thereby enhance the public perception of the institution. In all these endeavors, the faculty provides economic support to the principals at all times. Not only are they well qualified, but they're also highly motivated to update themselves with regard to the latest developments in their fields. They seek improvement in themselves and in their work and strive for excellence, both individual and in addition to being excellent teachers, mentors, and counselors to students, they're always ready to walk in a strong line. The members of the non-teaching staff also give their support on all fronts and are a great asset to the institution. Various academic activities like seminars, workshops, guest lectures, etc., are conducted to enhance the teaching learning experience. The real breadth of the college, however, is the student community. The students of the college come from varied backgrounds and from all over the state with hope in their hearts and dreams in their eyes. They leave the portals of the institution with the required skills and degrees at the end of 3 years. It is during this period that they learn values and ethics in addition to academics. Their enthusiastic involvement in activities like minority representations, student study projects, literary and cultural competitions, games and sports, etc., have brought laurels to the institution. They have won many prizes in competitions conducted by the CCE, by Swamy University, by other institutions, etc. All the while aiming for excellence. According to Albert Einstein, the aim of education must be the training of independently acting as individuals who, however, see in the service of the community their highest value. The institution believes that its students should learn the importance of giving back to the community. Therefore, in addition to striving for excellence in curricular and co-curricular activities, the students are passionately involved in community service. They have won the hearts of the people around and gained recognition for their efforts. Though the college enjoys the advantage of being located in the middle of the bustling metropolis, it lacks a proper approach and is also severely constrained in terms of the available land with no further scope for expansion. Since a solid physical infrastructure is essential for long-term growth and sustainability, no stone was left unturned in mobilizing funds for the enhancement of the existing infrastructure. During 2018-19, the college was sanctioned 2 reports, 2 were released under Musa 2.0 Component 9, leading to the construction of the 20 works on the 3rd floor and the construction of additional classrooms on the 4th floor. Requests for additional classrooms and labs, furniture, computers, etc. are submitted regularly to the Honorable Commissioner for College Education, and over the past 3 years, I have to mention this reference, the college has been afforded permission to utilize almost 2.4 crore from the accumulated funds in the college for infrastructure development. Institution has evolved with the Europe and adopted new and sustainability as its mantra. With a strong focus on issues like gender equity, provision for environmental and resilient happy environment, and efforts towards a clean and healthy environment, the college has successfully enhanced the way it is perceived. The internal quality assurance cell of the college has formulated various policies to institutionalize quality in all areas. Looking beyond the pandemic, as scientific are evaluating what they may need to change. Models, the college is growing up to face new challenges. There is a need to more clearly identify and implement changes to our program portfolio and operations to reflect their defined focus. This would enable us to remain flexible in our responses to an ever-changing environment as we redeploy human, financial, physical, and reputational capital in alignment with our new operating models. As Barack Obama once said, I quote, change will not come if we wait for some other person or some other time. We are the change that we see. Babu Jajivan Rao University College, Narayana, has successfully emerged as one of the leading higher education institutions in the state, despite all the disadvantages it has, because it has sought for change within itself, within its staff, its students, and within its environment. It has followed an old Chinese proverb that goes, be not afraid of growing slowly. Be not afraid of growing slowly. Be afraid only of standing still. The college, therefore, is committed to growing and never standing still. I take this opportunity to thank the Commissioner, Honorable Commissioner Sir, for having understood what the college needs and for providing every opportunity to progress in every possibility. I remember, sir, when I first went to sort of thank him for having given me this college as I was posted as a principal. There was one thing. It is a very good college, it has great potential. See that the college achieves anything. It is possible for the college to achieve anything. I take this opportunity, sir, to promise you that we will do all that is possible to realize that goal, sir. We are moving in that direction, sir. The promises on behalf of the staff, the students, and everybody concerned, everybody who is concerned about college of the college, that we will definitely do our best, sir. Thank you very much for being there for us, sir, and for encouraging us, sir. Thank you very much, ma'am. And thank you once again for being this. I look forward to a very significant discussion over the next few days. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, ma'am, for explaining us about how self-help group movement has enhanced the self-confidence and honed the decision-making skills, and how it facilitated the empowerment of women. And also, you have clearly explained about how in Babu Jagjeevanram Government Degree College we are surmounting the obstacles and moving beyond the constraints and optimally utilizing the resources. Thank you very much, ma'am.
Now, I request Dr.D.M. Swamy, sir, Assistant Professor, Convener of the National Seminar about
to Commissioner, from the respected Professor B, Madam, Director, ICSSR, SRC Hyderabad and Head Department of Commerce, Swamy University, and the respected Professor LC Malaya, Head Department of Technology, Baba Sahib, Bhimrao Ambedkar Central University, Lucknow, is going to shoot that. And the respected our beloved principal, Dr. P. Geeta Lakshmi Patnaik, Madam, and Dr. C. Shanti, Madam, organizing secretaries. Very good morning to all, and welcome to this today national development of women through self-help groups in India. Okay, I will start with the famous quote given by Dr. Ambedkar. I measure the progress of community by the degree of progress which women have achieved. I have started this with this quote because from the ancient India to modern India, the women was suppressed in many aspects. So even though we got independence after last 75 years, so through these 75 years, the central government we have so many constitutional provisions, but even for women equality and their progress, but they not achieve. The government of India, various state governments are also taking many measures for the development of women. But still there are disparities between men and women in many aspects. So in this context, women development and their participation in the market activity is very essential. Of course, I can say that self-help group concept may not be self-help group concept may not be new, but it is always emerging topic till they participate in the economic activity equal to their population ratio. So in this context, we are organizing national seminar on socio-economic development of women through self-help groups in India. So here, the concept of this self group started in 1976 by Professor Muhammad Yunus, Professor of Economics from Bangladesh, who started in the concept of the project called Gramina Bank. So in India, the same concept adopted into a modified form from 1976 onwards in different So India has adopted this project we adopted to eliminate the poverty and to empower the women. The microfinance has emerged as a powerful instrument in the new economy. With availability of the microfinance, self-help groups and credit management groups have also started in India. And like this, the movement of self-help groups have spread out in India. So in this seminar, we invited papers of the various subthemes like sociological and historical dimension of the woman, political and economic inclusion and others. So we received nearly 150 abstracts. Out of those, we published with 120 abstracts. The remaining abstracts came after the last date. So around till now, we received around 38 full papers, and this full papers we are also going to publish book with the ISSN number. And last seminar also we conducted national seminar, sir, and the budgeting system of the federal government 2021. So for that budget also you there as a chief guest and place with us. And that seminar also we received some books, and that book will be published with the highest rate number. So this was the book we published with the so this year also till now 38 full papers we received. So maybe up to April 1st, what are the papers we have added few papers? So we are going to publish with the ISS number, sir. So thank you for coming here. The next one, second next seminar is your 2020 and this also. We hope that this seminar we have the fruitful discussion on the various aspects related to women development. This seminar we have different sessions like inaugural session, marketing session, in technical sessions, delegates will present papers and we will have a discussion on the papers. I am very thankful to all the authors and paper presenters. Almost the papers received from the different states of the country, from the professors, social workers, NGOs, research scholars, administrators, moreover students from the various universities and colleges. Even government degree college from our Telangana also so many students they send abstracts. From our college, many students they send abstract, and some other colleges like Telangana degree college and other colleges also the students they send abstracts. We included. They also came for the presentation, sir. So once again, thank you one and all. So thank you.
Thank you very much, sir, for giving us a historical account of how the self-help group movement has started and how it has originated in India. Thank you. Now I extend my warm welcome to our guest of honor, Professor L.C. Mallaya, sir, Head Department of Economics, Baba Saheb Bhimrao Ambedkar University, a central university, Lucknow. Sir, please occupy the chair on the dais. Sir, is a presentation. Request Dr. Ravindra sir to present the bouquet to our guest of honor, Professor L.C. Mallaya, sir.
Taking the program, I request Dr. K. Sundararajan, Head Department of Commerce, to introduce our guest of honor, Professor L.C. Mallaya.
My humble fellows, all the delegates participating in the two-day national seminar on socio-economic development of women through self-help groups in India. I am very happy to introduce guest of honor, Professor L.C. Mallaya, Head Department of Economics, Baba Saheb Bhimrao Ambedkar University, Lucknow, Uttar Pradesh. Sir pursued his PhD in economics from Hyderabad Central University. The fellowship awards received Junior Research Fellowship in the University Grants Commission during 1996-98, Senior Research Fellowship by the University Grants Commission during 1998-2001. Sir has teaching experience of 18 years. Sir served as lecturer in economics, GDC Women, Begumpet from 2002 to 2005, served as assistant professor in the Department of Economics, Baba Saheb Bhimrao Ambedkar Central University, Lucknow from 2005 to 2009. Served as associate professor in economics, School of Undergraduate Studies, Central University of Karnataka from 2009 to 2010. Served as associate professor in economics, Department of Economics, Baba Saheb Bhimrao Ambedkar Central University, Lucknow from 2011 to 2014. Served as professor in economics, Dr. Baba Saheb Ambedkar National Institute of Social Sciences, Mao, Madhya Pradesh from 14 to 16. Served as associate professor in economics, Department of Economics, Baba Saheb Bhimrao Ambedkar Central University, Lucknow from 1st July 2016, and president, Head Department of Economics, Baba Saheb Ambedkar University, Lucknow. Sir has got an academic and administrative experience of 6 years, serves as member board of management and member of academic council at Baba Saheb Ambedkar Central University, Lucknow. Sir is specialized and interested to teach the subjects microeconomics, industrial economics, economics of discrimination, economics of marginalized people, and research methodology. Areas of research in development economics, industrial economics, agricultural economics, economics of marginalized people, gender economics, and Ambedkar economics. Sir guides the research scholars. 4 scholars are awarded PhD and 4 scholars are awarded MPhil. 6 scholars are pursuing PhD under the able guidance of Sir. Publication of books. The relevance of Dr. Ambedkar's views on Indian agricultural development, Abhijit Publications, New Delhi. Economic development and Dalits agricultural workers, Abhijit Publications, New Delhi. Dalits and human development, contemporary issues and emerging patterns, Abhijit Publications, Delhi. Globalization and Dalits, magnitude and impact, Abhijit Publications, Delhi. The contribution of Baba Saheb Ambedkar for development of modern India, Excel India Publishers, New Delhi. Perspectives on Telangana economy, Abhijit Publications, New Delhi. Trajectories and sectorial growth of Asian economies with special reference to India, Abhijit Publications. 6 papers are published in UGC list journals and 16 papers are published in published books. Completed a project sponsored by World Bank in collaboration with the Society for Eradication of Rural Poverty, Andhra Pradesh state government, and submitted a policy report to World Bank and AP government titled Rural Dalits Livelihood Assessment in Andhra Pradesh from April 2001 to May 2002. Participated and presented at 42 national conferences and 11 international conferences. Sir organized a national seminar on Dr. Ambedkar Vision and Reality, Center for Ambedkar Studies, B.B. Ambedkar Central University, April 14 and 15, 2006, Lucknow. Organized a national seminar on Dalits and human development, contemporary issues and emerging patterns, Center for Ambedkar Studies, 29 and 30 November 2006. Sir delivered more than 20 guests or special lectures at various national and international platforms. Sir has got corporate governance experience of more than 16 years. Thank you, one and all, for giving me this opportunity.
Now I invite for guest of honor, Professor L.C. Malay sir, to deliver the lecture.
And with respect to our chief guest of today person, so Peter is and Professor Usha here. I am PhD came to the university. And principal of this college. And my friends and colleagues for behind this great event, this event, and wonderful topic, which has very relevant today. I congratulate Dr. Swamy and the college administration for suggesting such a wonderful topic and organizing this market center. This college, of course, this college has a great name and brand. is a brand of college. College means no problem. And I congratulate this college for actively involved in the academic work. And I know that Swamy keep on working in some activities, education and research. It's very active. I'm very happy when he invited me that we are without any secret that I accept this invitation. I came here to share my views, opinions on the topic. Socio-economic empowerment of women through self-help groups. Economic empowerment of women is a very huge topic, and for since independence, several programs have been implemented and working hard for empowering the women. Of course, apart from all the programs, the self-help group is one program which is more successful in India. Of course, even though this is the concept of Yunus from Bangladesh, started from Brahmina rank, and spread like it was started in 1975 in India, and then actually activated 1985-86 onwards through the support of NABARD. Nearly, if you see today, the national self-help groups nearly 67 lakhs groups are working in India, and apart from them, nearly 85% or 90% are successfully working, and they have sold successfully. So it means now this self-help groups program are successful in India, actively running and showing the result of, you see the success stories of self-help groups in India. We can know. But before going to this, I want to tell you something about the women empowerment. I want to throw some light on women empowerment. What is the need of women empowerment? Why do we go for women empowerment? Is there any rationale to go for women empowerment particularly? So why they are economically or inequally or socially or economically underdeveloped? When they are underdeveloped, then we will talk about the empowerment. When they are unempowered, then we talk about the empowerment. Then why they are like this? Because not only in India, India we talk about the social system structure, economic structure, that's why people are, women are treated differently, that is one concept. But in developed countries also women are being treated differently. Why? Because there is a discrimination or different attitude of women. So here, of course, if you take the other developed countries, they say that they go for the racial, they go for the gender, they have a different concept. When it comes to the India, we have the concept of this, particularly social structure. Because of the social structure, women are treated like unempowered. Then they realized in 1970s, 1967, then there is a need of empowerment of women. Then this government has started different programs. Even today, for political participation of women, the women reservation bill is still pending. The government is trying to implement. But we don't know this. Of course, there are different ways to make them participate. But compared to 1960s, 1970s, and 80s, 90s, 2020, then there is a lot of empowerment of women through different programs. There are several programs that have successfully empowering women. Women are participating actively in each and every field. They are actively participating. This shows that we have to say this: the government policies and bureaucratic policies and the attitude and implementation. Because of this, possible to see the empowerment of women. Even now, despite of several programs, even compared to Telangana, if you take the Telangana only, if you take the purview of the GHMC, the study says that nearly 45,000 groups of self-help groups are working successfully. And each and every one, if you say the same state of success story, they are Economically, they are starting their work and they are proving their study, their families and educating their children are there. This goes to the credit goes to the bureaucratic system. Those who are like our professor, they are very IAS officers, committed IAS officers, they are taking the initiative seriously and with the commitment they are implementing such programs and see the empowerment of the women. Not only the empowerment, economical empowerment, they are seeing the empowerment of women through education, social activities, political activities, cultural activities, and economic activities. So, mainly the government or bureaucratic system or political system, everybody is realizing that there is a need of economic empowerment. Why we need economic empowerment? I will tell you a small story. I will share with you. Of course, the marriage is very important for women or men in India. We are living, we need a companion of this is the process of social system. When the women are marrying the men, of course, we know the one of the social system. But there is a theory of the marriage proponent by Garius Baker and Aguilar. They are global learners of economics. They have said that there is a theory of marriage. What is the theory of marriage? Theory of marriage says that the marriage is a business entity. Business entity. The marriage is a business entity. How it is a business entity? The economic term have defined it is how it is a business entity. That means the woman will come with a one-time lifetime investment for the and will be given to the when the man is the entrepreneur, he has to take care of the whole life responsibility of that woman. That is said that economics has defined that the dowry is the one-time lifetime investment of the woman. That is the theory of the marriage. Yes. But nowadays what happened? This is the common we are following. We are victims of course victims of the one is taking place among the men and women is the common phenomena, nation phenomena. Everybody no can have the right to deny it. That is the nation phenomena. So the love, the people are married, going for love and each other across the caste and creed of color of everything. They are loving each other. The problem arises. Then we are following the social code, social conduct and traditions system in India. We are very particular about this. These systems are not everything people to go for according to the choice of the marriage. These systems are not allowing. When the systems are not allowing, then the problems are arising. The problems are arising because of this. What happened? Honor killings are taking place. Honor killings are taking place of suicides. All these things are increasing. When we know about the crime rate, then we can see the data of the how many people are committing suicide for the because of the love failure. But as my friend who has both have been love for the last 5 years. The continuously they are in love. The caste is different, upper caste and lower caste. The girl is belonging to the lower caste, the boy is belonging to upper caste. Then both are in love. Then families rejected that offer. So they want to go for marriage, it is the life, but their family is not accepted. Then the time spent 5 years. After 5 years, between meanwhile this time, that girl belonging to lower caste, she got selected for IPS officer. She prepared the civil service, she got the IPS post. Then after getting the IPS post, one family of the Kandan came to the IPS of the capital, married and settled. So when she becomes economically empowered, then where are the systems, where are the traditions, where are the code of conduct, where are the pathways, pracharalu, ikkada bedi ikkada అందుకనే economics class being economics, I can say that economic empowerment of women is the various sense and the base of the development of the women. Suddenly the system for the last 5 years the life is gone, everyone పెద్దవాళ్ళు ఒప్పుకోవట్లేదు, వీళ్ళు ఒప్పుకోవట్లేదు, వాళ్ళు ప్రశ్నిస్తూ గురైన వాళ్ళు ఒక్కసారి ఆ అమ్మాయి ఐపీఎస్ ఆఫీసర్ అయిన తర్వాత ఇవన్నీ మర్చిపోయి మేము మీదనే ఉంటాం, మా ఫ్యామిలీ మీద ఉంటాం, మిమ్మల్ని పెళ్లి చేసుకుంటామని చెప్పేసి పెళ్లి చేసుకొని ఆ ఫ్యామిలీ. That boy is still unemployed, but the girl is doing as IPS officer. This is the small piece of sample for the economic empowerment of women. Because of the empowerment of women, the girl is established the family for the woman. Because of she does not have any feeling of the lower caste, upper caste, even after getting the IPS officer. So still she accepted to go with the guide. That is the commitment of women. That is the commitment of the women. Everybody is around the right. When that why become the IPS officer, certainly you will visit the offer. Boys will not commit, whereas the girl will show always commitment. That is the way the girl is the more powerful than the. Even if you see the biologically, the women are more powerful than the men. If you see the biologically. But still, we are like being the male-dominated society. We are like the women empowerment, women empowerment, women empowerment. Where is the women empowerment? Where unless until we respect the women, we change our mindset toward the women, toward the girls. We need to change our mindset. We need to change our attitude. We need to change our style, lifestyle. Then only the women empowerment will be realized. This will take another lot of time. Is the women empowerment is not a one-time overnight tool or mechanism or technique to change the economically about the all women. No, it is a process. The process will take time. It will take time. Take time and material money, everything will be taken. But it is going to supply. I am sure that these programs, with the support of the Mr. Vital IS officer, this type of women people commitment, honest, and the goal, then this economic empowerment is going to take place. All the economy, even if you see some competitive examination, the girls are making the ranks than the boys because the girls have the capacity to focus on multiple tasks, whereas the boy does not have the capacity to focus on multiple tasks. That girl will do only one job, but whereas the girl will do simultaneously four works. The mind structure is like that. No one can change. That is the power of women. That power of women is to be realized by the only men. Then this will be realized. But certainly one day the day will come that world economy, world market will be dominated by the women only. This time is going to come very soon. Because that is the power of the women. But whereas why these people are now, the transformation of the economic empowerment will take place, then the problems will arise. What are the problems? There is an ego problem. Ego problem, male changes will not allow the women to talk and speak and make a good decision. They will not accept. When this type of conflict arises, then the problem arises in the families. When the problems arises, then families will get divorced. This is happening in the developed countries. This is the real story of development countries. This situation also will come to India. But the real economic empowerment is that any must but we stand, make them to take independent economic decisions on political decisions, cultural, economic, social decisions. Women empowerment is very essential, but essentially, and today's seminar or the board paper printers, other people thoroughly going to discuss these issues. There are so many issues. When this ego conflict arises, then what is the mechanism to resolve? Somebody has to compromise somewhere. Whether that person husband is not compromising, wife is not compromising, somebody has to compromise. But here the compromise also will be goes will go to the favor of women. Women will always be in compromise. Not because of the ego to satisfy the ego of the husband, but because of the family. To establish the family. Because the family, India family system is very important. To establish the family system, then women will compromise. It is not that is the ego of the male ego is to be satisfied. No, never. This is the wrong impression, wrong presentation. Only women will compromise for sake of the kids, for sake of the family system, particularly in India. Whereas in other countries, it doesn't matter for them. Whereas India, it is very much matter for the women to establish the family. When the family establishes their brand, their value, their image in the society, excellent. That's why women always strive for the family. They are compromising for all this. Their knowledge, empowerment, everything is compromising. But people are maybe other way around. The woman is, because of the woman, she is suppressed. She is weak. That's why she is not. No. So the internal mind, we have to realize that the woman is more powerful because of the other obligations. She is compromising her life and taking care of the children. That's why so many theories are there. Biological theories, human approaches, many theories are in economics. But all theories prove that. But today, we can see that there are two organizations, unorganized, organized sector. Organized sector, yes, there is some little bit, but there are still unorganized, we see the those differences. That is this discrimination still going on in the market. That is to be curtailed. I remember this, of course, this is also which is possible because of the commitment of our product sector, because IS officer particularly like our even our senior are committed IS officer with also. So these type of people are the main key persons play the major role for development of the women or not particularly women and other society. These people are the real being, the creator structures of society, the nation, the creators of the nation. That's why this nation we are taking because of the fruits of our labor. The same way the women also important also will take this. Very soon they are going to take a major decision in the market in the coming days. That's why with this, I wish this conference is going to be successful and give some policy solution for development of the economic empowerment of women through self-help groups, particularly in Telangana or in India. With this, I thank to Dr. Swamy for giving me opportunity to come in and share my opinions with you. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir, for enlightening us on the success rate of self-help groups in India and also the instrumental role being played by the esteemed administrators like our commissioners, Naveen Mittal, sir, in realizing the objectives of self-help groups. Thank you very much.
Now I invite CP Gizen sir, Associate Professor of Commerce, to introduce our keynote speaker, Professor Usha Kiran ma'am.
Dignitaries of the dais, dignitaries of the dais, my dear brethren and my dear students, a very good morning to all of you. It is indeed a pleasure, privilege, and an honor to be introducing Professor V. Usha Kiran Madam, who is the keynote speaker of today's seminar. I have gone through the CV of Professor Madam, and from that, I could find that if we take a close look at the CV which has been given to me, there is an alchemy of the keynote speaker which has two distinct virtues which can be seen beside perseverance and hard work. These are pioneering capabilities and acceptance of hard situations. Dr. V. Usha Kiran Madam is a professor of commerce at Osmania University and also serves as honorary director, Indian Council of Social Science Research, Southern Region Center. ICSSR SRC, that is what we call, as that is also the sponsoring body for this seminar. She is also holding the other position as director, Directorate of Placements, Swamy. She is having a vast experience of 32 years of teaching and research experience, and her areas of specialization are finance, accounting, and taxation. Professor Usha Kiran Madam has published about 60 journal articles, and she has participated in about 65 conferences, which are national and international seminars. And she is conferred upon with various awards, which include 1. National Merit Scholarship, 2. Junior Research Fellowship Award of UGC, 3. Best Commerce Faculty Award by Institute of Practical Accounting in the year 2004. She has been conferred with the Best Research Paper Award at 33rd All India Accounting Conference, which was held in Trivandrum, Kerala in the year 2010, and she got the Best Research Paper Award at 39th All India Accounting Conference, Bangalore, Karnataka, in the year 2016. Madam has been awarded with the Telangana State Best Teacher Award in the year 2020. She is associated with various academic institutions like Human Resource Development Center at Osmania University, Telangana, State Police Academy, affiliated and constituent colleges of
Osmania University, Kakatiya University, and Palamur University. On the academic administrative side, Madam has served as NSS officer, student advisor, head Department of Commerce at University College for Women and PG College, second track. She is also member of board of studies, selection committees, and she is also in the governing bodies of various affiliated and autonomous colleges. She is now General Secretary at Hyderabad branch of Indian Accounting Association, Executive Member of Indian Accounting Association, representing South, a member of International Complaints Committee, LIC South Zone. She is also a coordinator for UGC, UPE, Bureau of Human Resources Planning, Placement and Training Center, SAP, UGC, Department of Commerce. Madam is doing yeoman service, which shows her philanthropic nature where, with regard to her social contribution, she renders social service through Chaitanya Seva Trust at Gurugula Village, Rangareddy District, Telangana, which runs an old age home and an orphanage. She is the financial advisor and development committee member of this trust. I thank the organizers for giving me this opportunity. Thank you.
Sai రావట్లేదు సార్ OBS OBS get started ఇది లింక్ అంటే ఎట్లా పే చేయాలి డైరెక్ట్
First of all, thank you very much. So, extremely, thank you very much.
దీంట్లో OBS
This chief guest, having concern to Commissioner Qualitative Education, Telangana State, and Madam Neeta, and Professor Malaya, the guest of honor, and of course, we have with us Dr.
OBS డౌన్లోడ్ కాలేదు కదా
He is the person. All of us are. And all the senior faculty and my dear friends, students, all the invitees, it's pleasure coming over here. Because when I look at the, I find that it is organized by the Faculty of Social Sciences. A great contribution. It is because actually, Dr. Swamy has applied for us and considered this proposal for economics department. There is a procedure in the ICSSRSRC that we go by the department and we go by whether the college has been given the funding earlier, and so many rules and regulations are there. So accordingly, this fund was given to the economics department of this college. But it's something great when I see that it is organized by shows the team spirit of the college. Commissioner sir, please acknowledge this. They are very much united and they never claim that I belong to economics and my all other social sciences should come up. So that is the spirit in which you should organize the programs. And coming to social sciences, I would like to tell you that compared to the other subjects, disciplines in social sciences, especially the economics, political science, public administration, sociology, so many other things, commerce and management are also now considered as social sciences. And it so happened that economics is mother of all social sciences. And the child is
commerce, and its state is management. But in this process, economics has gone out. And when we look at the social sciences and their popularity in South and North, we find that most of the takers are social science takers in North compared to the South region. I don't know why, what made the social sciences to go back. But I think, all the faculty belonging to the social sciences, they should do something wherein the popularity of the social sciences are not going. It is because, like any other subject, the social sciences are so important because all the social sciences deal in the society. And whatever research that is needed, that should be done by the social sciences because directly we are concerned with the society. And one of the important aspects of any research is that you should be evaluating certain policies and you should be able to contribute certain policies to the government or to the bodies who are really going for the policy making. And when we are considering the social sciences which are so nearer to the society, we come across many problems that are there in the society. So you people, that is all of us, the faculty of social sciences, must develop a habit of going into the research and trying to solve the problems and trying to propose the policies which become policy documents of the government. So that should be the aim. So wherever I go, as ICSs are, I keep telling that you are no less. And just because the popularity has gone down, don't keep yourself under that particular shadow. Rather, you will have to work a lot. If you throw a ball down, it raises with more force. So that should be the way in which all social sciences should come back. So that is my appeal to all of you. Of course, I'm asked to deliver a keynote address on the particular topic, but I'm deviating a little bit because this is the forum where I can inform you certain things as to what is the importance of research. So just now I was telling the chief guest that the government colleges have got all the facilities and all good faculty. Because the other day I happened to meet the faculty from the government college, and they have done 2 days, 3 days in the 3 days, but they have done it very well. And this is the second government college where I worked in, and in between I went to Tamil Nadu, where again a government college has done a program. So in this process, what I find, almost all the government colleges have got very good faculty, but their orientation towards the research is to be taken care. So please encourage. And it's not that simply somebody encourages, but it should come from within you. Then you have to take up certain projects, you have to publish papers, and while publishing the papers, please look as to where you are publishing. Don't publish in all clone journals or the journals which are paid journals. Rather, you should aim at some of the Scopus based or NBC listed or Web of Sciences. These are the best platforms where you can publish your publications. And the thing is, like if you are submitting your paper today, it takes some 6 months or sometimes 1 year also for the publication. You wait because you can wait. You're not going to retire, isn't it? So if you are going to retire or if you have any scores that are required, then of course you can think of some open access journals. Otherwise, you take up the research in such areas where there is a path-breaking research or innovative research, so that you can showcase your talent and you can bring out some solutions to the problems. So choose a very good journal and try to write a paper which really suits to be published in that particular journal. So that is my advice to all young faculty here. And also some of the students are here. You please go towards the research. We have got plenty of funding. Funding is not a problem. The only thing is the takers are a problem. Because ICSSR needs funding for doctoral studies, for postdoctoral studies, for projects, minor, major, and also multidisciplinary environment. Similarly, UGC, of course, now it is not giving, but still, it encourages. And maybe we take funding from various ministries. So you try to write a project and submit. And now we have Azadi Kabul Mahasab.
Yes.
Celebrating 75 years of independence. You have got plenty of funding under all ministries. See, apply. Definitely you will get. But only condition is that your proposal must be working proposal. So you should really showcase as to why funds should be given to you. So that is how we have to choose the topics that please keep doing research. And that is how you can win good accreditation for your college. So you're not taking up research not just for your sake, but for the sake of your institution also. Please remember this. And that accreditation, the ranking, or if you want to stand in NIF or definitely you should have this kind of research input fundamental. Please take it very seriously. And hereafter, at least by next year, 1 or 2 projects you should get. That is my wish. Okay. Something what I wanted to talk about the research. Then coming to the topic, that is socio-economic development of women through self-help groups in India. And I looked at the topic, to be frank, with Swamy and all others. When I looked at the topic, I said, I need funding for this. Okay. Because it is most research topic. It started somewhere in 1970s, and much research has taken place. And when we look at the topics, which are stale, then we feel that we feel like advising the conveners to go for a but having seen that it is coming from college and also seeing the relevance in terms of the women empowerment and also in terms of the self-help groups, though it is not latest, but still it comes under poverty alleviation program. Therefore, we decided maybe the title is not so apt, but let the funding go. So this is how we got the funding. The first thing. And the second thing is for choosing the women empowerment and also the self-help.
Yes, sir.
That I think the message goes. When you are applying for any funding, please see that you are taking up the latest. But this particular self-help groups, I once again tell that it is evergreen in the sense whatever you do in that that becomes something additional input therefore considering that we have given that. Then coming to the self-help groups, already some kind of introduction is created to the self-help groups and so on so forth. I do have certain points to tell you. All of us know that 10 to 15 people come together who are people with homogeneous needs. They are informal group and they come together and they start calling themselves as a self-help group. So though we look at the self-help group as an informal group, but for me, I feel that it is something like a financial institution. Financial institution, especially in rural area, where it's a kind of a niche that is very specialized financial institution, though it is something below the registered because you don't have any registration there, but still they are not less than any financial institution. They do take up all the activities that are to be done by any financial institution. Therefore, I call these institutions as the micro financial institution at the rural level. Then the process is that they come together and they start with their small savings and a process where they approach the banks and then go for the borrowing. So in this process, what they do is they acquire the leadership skills and also they acquire the other skills like accounting skills and business etiquette they learn. And it so happens that entrepreneurship comes to them automatically. And as in this process, they understand that the funds which are required for any business has a cost. Definitely, funding has a cost. So they understand that. And at the same time, there is a huge demand for the funds. Even that they understand. And as the demand is more, the cost really goes up for the funding. And always the success of any institution or any self-help group lies in the proper disbursement of the loan and also the timely repayment. So this is another very important feature they understand. And only understanding of all these things, they come together and they make themselves very successful. So in this process, they learn the financial discipline, which is very much important. And we have spoken about the various empowerments like economic empowerment or social empowerment or political empowerment. Let us just see like what are these. If you look at the economic empowerment, it is nothing but if you can control the resources at your disposal, that itself is economic empowerment. And coming to the social empowerment, it's nothing but if you are creating for yourself a particular status in the society, that itself is called as a social empowerment. And coming to the political empowerment, I never say that it is participating in the political system and contesting for elections and all. But political empowerment means that participation in decision making, that is most important thing. So are you acquiring definitely all these things are not, that we have to understand. And it is something like traveling from subsistence to sustainability. So you might have heard about the sustainability development goals initiated by India, which talks about the no poverty, no hunger, and economic freedom. So all these things can be realized through the self-help groups. And what I advise is, whenever you are talking about the self-help groups, you just try to look from the angle of the sustainability development goals. So that would be a new approach to the self-help groups. So when we say that self-help groups is most research topic, maybe you have to look into what was done earlier and what are the things that you have to apply now. So you link the sustainability development goals of UNO to the self-help groups and see how there is a gender parity or gender equality, or how there is no poverty, and how the people are going ahead with the decision making. So when we are talking about women empowerment, I would like to tell you one thing that for me, if you ask me, what is this empowerment? Rural empowerment comes when we are going for higher education, or the empowerment comes as it is. It all depends on the attitude of the people. The attitude is that, supposing I wrote a research study which was taken up board meetings, how the board meetings are held in companies. So when we look at the board meetings, there are women members in the board and also men members in the board. The research study concluded that it so happens that whatever men decide, that really becomes a decision. Then I was wondering how the research study can conclude this thing. So the logic or the reasons they have put forth, it was something like men mingle with each other. They find time in corridors, in lunchroom, wherever they are standing. They keep discussing about the things that happen in office or in companies. Whereas women, what they do is they just sit at their desk and straight away go from their desk to the meeting room. So in this process, they lose the connection with what is happening all around. And even if the lady is so articulate and would like to defend or would like to participate in the decision making, by the time she reaches the board, already the decisions are made in the corridor. So where is the question of women participating or taking decisions? So the attitude of the women must change. So when you are getting some amount as your agree, have policies as to how to spend. So why do you ask somebody like in the family, of course, why do you take their consent? Of course, in a family there should be consent and all. I agree. So I'm not asking you to barrel and take your own decisions. But at the same time, how much value is being given to your voice that one should understand. So in this process, I just recall once upon a time, like way back in 2008, I do have made a study on this self-help groups, and I called it as a village level study. It was published in Swamy. That is the journal that has been published from the MSc, that is now we have got in Swamy. So there, I found that 31% of the women are coming into the self-help groups on their own, and 57% of them are taking loan on their own, and 60% of them have the freedom in deciding how to utilize the loan. And most of them have started business, that is 61%, and running of the business and taking decisions of the business 89%, and in SHG, that is by taking the decisions in self-help groups, 91% of them said they will do it collectively but not at the leaders' initiative. This is what I found. But in reality, maybe at that time I was a bit young and I didn't know how to collect the data. I feel that way. But now, any one of you, please go to the self-help groups and study them in such a way that you observe them while they are conducting the meetings or while they are taking the decisions. Observe them, and in your observations, whatever you find, you record them. If you ask them, they are all positive yes. So don't ask them, but observe them and see how really empowered they are. So if you know that through your observation they are empowered, definitely I agree that there is a socio-economic development of women through the self-help groups. But if you just take a schedule and go to them and ask them questions, definitely everybody say a positive answer, which is called as a bias. So let there not be any bias, respondents bias. If you can observe, if you can write down, and let not be a small group as such, you take this project extensively and try to collect the data from more number, that is a large adequate sample you take and then do this study. Definitely it will give a result whether SIGs are really institutions which need government support. There are many success stories, I agree, media reports, and there are failures also, I agree, again media reports. But have we really gone there to look, to observe how they are doing? So don't go by the media reports, but as a researcher, try to go to them and find out. So this is what I advise. And finally, whether we agree or not, this is a very big program in the sense this means SLGs. And in 2011, the SLGs have become a part of the National Rural Livelihoods Mission, one of the largest poverty elimination program. And the government is doing well in giving funds or the plan is being established, but how far the beneficiaries are being empowered or being receiving all the necessary things what they require. That is the question that is to be right. Thank you very much for taking this.
Thank you very much, ma'am, for your thought-provoking speech and wonderful oration of the importance of social sciences to all the fraternity of social sciences, and also the importance of inculcating research attitude and aptitude both among the faculty as well as the students. Ma'am, here I would like to bring one thing to the notice of the esteemed dignitaries on the dais. We as a team in Babu Jagjeevan Ram Government Degree College trying to inculcate research aptitude in the students through the commissionerate pilot project of Jignasa study projects. We are taking them to field level studies, and also we are asking them under the guidance of faculty members to write research papers and all the subjects in all the disciplines. Now we have research papers of the students in international journals that are published, ma'am. And also, one of our students last year he got MA Development Studies in IIT Hyderabad, sir, because of the publications that he had. Student of History, Economics, and Public Administration. And under the leadership of our principal, ma'am, we have started a research and innovation activity club also in our college. And further, we are also thinking of starting up governance labs like that in separate disciplines like administration and all. Thank you very much, ma'am. Your speech has added more value to our approach to the research and everything. And also, definitely, we will try to integrate objectivity in social sciences, as Gunnar Mittal has stated that objective in social sciences, whether it's a myth or something. So, through field studies, as you said, we can go and get the first-hand information and bring in objectivity in place of subjectivity or bias. Thank you very much, ma'am, for your wonderful presentation. Please.
So this is to tell you that if you require any capacity building program on academic writing from SRC, I'll be coming forward. But the only thing is it will be one-day program or 3 days program. You please decide. You can pull up the people, all government college teachers. And definitely I'll see that capacity building program for government college teachers in academic writing language.
Thank you very much, ma'am.
Now I request our Vice Principal Ma'am, Srimati S. Radhika Ma'am, to introduce our Honorable Commissioner of Employment and Education, Sri Narayan, sir.
Honorable Commissioner of Collegiate and Technical Education, Telangana State, Sri Naveen Mittal Garu, respected Principal of the College, Dr. P.V. Geeta Lakshmi Patnaik Madam, esteemed dignitaries on the dais, Professor V. Usha Kiran Madam, Director, ICSSR, SRC, Hyderabad, and Professor N.C. Mallaya Sir, Head Department of Economics, Baba Saheb Bhimrao Ambedkar Central University, Lucknow, and all the distinguished participants and learned colleagues and my dear students. Very warm greetings to you all. I extend a special welcome to our Chief Guest, Commissioner of Collegiate and Technical Education, Telangana State, Sri Naveen Mittal, sir. It is a great honor to have you amongst us, sir, as your presence represents government's firm commitment to make higher education accessible to all the young minds and your personal interest in higher education. It is my proud privilege to introduce today's Chief Guest, Sri Naveen Mittal, who has graced the inaugural session of National Seminar on Socio-Economic Development of Women through Self-Help Groups in India. Sri Naveen Mittal sir belongs to 1996 batch of Indian Administrative Services and was allotted to Telangana cadre. Exceptional academics, sir completed his BTech in Computer Science from IIT Delhi. It is indeed an honor to share with you all that he has the distinction of having secured All India third place in civil services examinations. People are born with leadership qualities and remembering the famous quotation, leadership is the capacity to translate vision into reality. And sir has a brilliant academic and outstanding administrative record. In his 24 years long administrative career, sir has held diverse posts like Commissioner of Visakhapatnam Municipal Administration, Collector and District Magistrate of Krishna and Hyderabad districts, Special Commissioner in Greater Hyderabad Municipal Corporation, Commissioner of Information and Public Relations, Secretary of Finance, and later Municipal Administration and Urban Development in the state, and made his mark in reforming and re-engineering systems and processes wherever he has worked. While serving as Special Commissioner of Greater Hyderabad Municipal Corporation during the year 2010 to 15, he has driven the governance initiatives in GHMCs and has many outstanding awards to his credit. The notable amongst them being the e-governance award given by Union Minister of Urban Development to GHMC for outstanding first in the online grievance redressal. For the last 4 years, he is working as Commissioner of Collegiate and Technical Education and has worked in transforming the higher education system in the state. His efforts in modernizing and reorganizing the courses in government colleges has led to 68% growth in student admissions in the last 2 years, which is unprecedented. He has also helped in enriching the curriculum wherein soft skills and employability skills have been made an integral part of the curriculum. Biometric attendance has been introduced in all colleges in the state to improve the student attendance, and all government colleges are now working on e-office, which has improved the speed and efficiency of college administration. The lowest admissions platform of Telangana for online admissions in the degree colleges is considered as one of the best in the country, and many states have tried to replicate it. He is working with single-minded devotion of improving the quality and outcomes of higher and technical education in Telangana state. Sri Naveen Mittal sir is the recipient of Transformational Leader of the Year 2021 by spearheading the dramatic transformation in Telangana state higher education. I would like to end my introduction with the great Thomas Edison's quote, "Genius is 1% inspiration, 99% perspiration." Our Honorable Commissioner, Sri Naveen Mittal sir, has proved again and again that achievement is something that is accomplished especially by superior ability, special effort, and great courage. He is indeed a role model for all of us. I would like to thank you all for giving me this opportunity, and truly it's a great privilege. Thank you, sir.
Now I request our Honorable Commissioner of Collegiate Education, Sri Naveen Mittal sir, IAS, to release the souvenir of the seminar. I would like I hearty welcome to Dr. Saundarya Madam, Coordinator of RUSA for this national seminar. Ma'am, I request Dr. Saundarya Madam to come on to the dais and join us for the release of the souvenir. I request all the faculty members of social sciences to join us in the release of the souvenir. Thank you, sir. Now I invite our esteemed Commissioner of Collegiate and Technical Education, Sri Naveen Mittal, sir, IAS, to address the gathering. Sir, happy welcome.
Good afternoon to all of you. The principal of BJR Government Degree College, Dr. D.M, the keynote speaker, Professor Swamy, who has also helped to organize this seminar by gracious funding from the ISR SRC, which is heading. Professor L.C. Malaya Garu, who has come all the way from Lucknow to be the key motivation in this seminar as guest of honor. Dr. Swamy, the convener of this seminar of the Department of Economics. And as Professor Swamy said, the seminar is, though it is funded to the Department of Economics, but it is being organized under the aegis of Faculty of Social Sciences, which shows that the faculty of various subjects in the social sciences have got together and come together as a team to organize this. And I think this is an example for other colleges also to follow, that teamwork and group work really helps to do well in whatever task or field is picked up. I have a very, I would say, personal deep connection with the topic which is being discussed today. That is the socio-economic development of women through the self-help groups in India. But personally, I must say that I have been, right from the beginning of my service, I have been engaged with this topic. And if you look at the development of self-help groups, especially in Telangana, though the model originated in the country of Bangladesh in the mid-70s by the Nobel Prize winner Muhammad Yunus. But if you look at the state of Telangana, the SHG started getting formed sometime around the middle of 90s. And there used to be a program which was funded by the Ministry of Rural Development, Government of India, through the DRD, which was called the Revolving Fund. So, based on the thrift and the internal credit history, the groups used to get something like 15,000 rupees of matching grant to begin with, which then went up to 20,000. But the real transformation in the SHG movement started coming when bank linkages started happening. And that happened around 2000 in the state of Telangana. In fact, that's where my first connection comes in, because the trigger to the whole movement was given by a World Bank funded project which was called DPIP, District Poverty Initiatives Program, which then in popular parlance started getting called VELU, and then it became IKP, and then it became Bandileni Runalu. And I was the project officer of Integrated Tribal Development in Adilabad district, and the project was launched by the then Chief Minister for the entire state in June 2000 from there. And I was also the first project director of that project in that district. And that project, I must say, in the 6 districts which it was implemented, and 2 of them were in Telangana, that is Adilabad and Mahbubnagar, really became an exemplary project for showcasing to the entire country what self-help group movements can do. And we have seen that when the bank linkages started, that really brought in the much needed money to the women and through them to the families in the rural areas for a lot of purposes. In fact, when we look at that, initially it probably led to more of income smoothing or consumption smoothing because of this erratic levels of income or erratic levels of consumption in the rural areas due to seasonal nature of employment or seasonal nature of incomes. And that was the key beginning. And then once it crossed that stage, it resulted in, I would say, improvement of livelihoods. Maybe to begin with, adding to something which was probably already happening, and then leading to something bigger. And my experience in this regard has been that when you look at the ROI, return of investment on any project, no, in a corporate world, it is good enough to have an ROI of, let's say, 18%, 20% or of that range. But the ROI of many of these investment projects, small investment projects, maybe 10,000, 20,000, 30,000, was close to 100% for the women. And that is a huge thing, because if you invest 10,000, you're getting back that 10,000 within a span of 1 year. That is the kind of return which it resulted in. And that really became a transformational step in bringing women and through women the families out of poverty line. And in fact, I must say that Telangana or then Andhra Pradesh before it divided was actually, for a greater part, the leader in the self-help group movement in the whole country. And many states have actually looked at the experience of these two states to really kickstart the self-help movement in their own states. And today you find it widely happening in the whole country. The vehicle which has been created by the efforts of so many people, that is the self-help group model and the whole base which has been created, started getting misused by some very unscrupulous microfinance institutions who started using the innocence and the dire requirement of funds in the groups by a very non-transparent method of funding them. And that was when I was in Krishna district, I was district collector there. And we found that there were almost like something like, if I remember the number correctly, 16 to 18 documented suicides of women which happened in a span of 6 to 9 months because of harassment of collection from some of these MFIs. And when we went deep into it, we found that though they were calling it 2% rate of interest, that is 2% per month, it was a flat rate of interest. And flat rate means that whatever principal amount you start, even though you are repaying, the interest rate continues to be on that. And if you have a repayment period of 1 year, and you start with, let's say, a 10,000 rupee loan, which goes down to zero, the back of the envelope calculation will tell you that the interest rate literally doubles because the average amount is only 5,000, that is 50% of the original principal. That means the 2% per month, that is 20% 4% rate translates to 48% interest. And coupled with the other charges, it was coming to close to 60%. But still people were able to pay because the ROIs were very high. But the issue is that then there were people who enterprises maybe failed or some other reason of some consumption purpose or family requirement or for medical reason, they then could not pay. And then some of the MFIs as Fox, they used to kind of harass through various, I can't even tell you the ways they used to harass, making that entire group sit in the sun from morning till evening. Those kind of things started coming up. And then that's where we really hit them hard through a collective exercise in the entire district. And that became a trigger for reform in the MFI sector, which even the RBI and the government of India and the government of state worked. And that resulted in a lot of reforms. So that's why when you picked up this topic, I really remembered my own deep connection with this. And I can tell you that within a very short span of, let's say, 2 decades, this 2 decades or 2.5 decades, both in Telangana as well as in Andhra or present Andhra, which was the origin, there has been a huge growth in the bank linkages. In fact, Telangana state, which started from scratch in 2000, last year, that is 21-22, we did nearly 12,000 crores of bank linkage for the self-help groups. More than 4 lakh self-help groups had a bank linkage of 12,000 plus crores. And 4 lakh groups plus means nearly about 40 to 50 lakh women who are part of the whole process. And this 40 to 50 lakh women is actually then 40 to 50 lakh families. And it's an ideal example of some of the things which we have, that if you teach a man, you teach one person. But if you teach a woman, you teach the entire family. If you provide properly income to a man, maybe large proportion of it is consumed by him or himself. But if you provide income to a woman, a large part of it goes to the family. Man will probably stop on some liquor shop on the way when he gets income and spend a major part of it on that. But women will actually spend very carefully on the family. And I think that has been this movement, self-help group movement, has been one reason why we as a state did extremely well in last 2.5 decades compared to some of the North Indian states. I remember we used to call them the Bihar states, the Bihar, Madhya Pradesh, Rajasthan, and Uttar Pradesh. Compared to some of the states, we did extremely well. I think one credit we can give is to the self-help movement, which had a deep base. Having said this, I mean, we talked about the history of it. But a seminar like this should also look at what is the road ahead. And that is where I would say the key takeaway from such a seminar should be. How do we use this base for innovative mechanisms to do well in the future? One, as Professor Manayagaru said, what could be our objectives be? We need to really clearly define our objectives, whether it is empowerment, whether it is livelihoods, whether it is development of social capital, or what exactly it is. And once we clearly define our objectives, we have to then create roadmaps to achieve those objectives. And I see in many ways the self-help groups can actually, if they are properly utilized as a vehicle for our objectives, we can really meet many of them. In fact, a great part of, I would say, village leadership and political leadership in the villages have come through self-help groups. Women who were leading the particular self-help group of 10 to 15 women. Then many of these self-help groups federated to form village organizations at village level, or village organizations federated to form Mandal Mahila Samakhyas at a Mandal level. We have seen that the women who were actually leaders of a small self-help group became actually leaders of a village and leaders of a mandal, and then higher political leadership. And when we talk of empowerment, it cannot just be a top-driven empowerment. It has to come from the bottom. And I would say this has proved to be an ideal vehicle, an ideal mechanism for that. Also, livelihoods. We have been successful in micro credits and micro loans, but I think it's time to think bigger and bigger in that regard. Where we look at now, many of these groups which are mature enough have, let's say, success of a decade or two to actually become enterprises, and it is possible. There are examples both in our state as well as in many other parts of the country where they have actually become enterprises. And then also in terms of, as I said, social capital itself. Ultimately, what is social capital about? Professor Raksha was talking about power of discussing with each other, maybe in a corridor. In fact, in corporate world, the terminology which is used as water cooler discussions. That is when employees go near a water cooler to get a glass of water, that becomes a point of discussion, or a tea break or a coffee break. And then you have these networks, both within the groups and among different groups. That is what social capital is all about. It's the power of networking. Social media, we say, why Facebook or why some of the other social media platforms like Twitter are so highly valued. That is because every single edition of a user has a possibility of millions and billions of possible connections. And that's why that is so valued, though it is not even in the physical space, it is in the cyber space. But here we have these networks, real networks, in the physical space itself. How do you leverage this social capital for societal improvement and societal growth, and also drive some of the other development priorities through this? And I think the potential of this is enormous, and I'm sure that this seminar would actually trigger some of this smart process in our social scientists, the faculty as well as the students and those who are interested in research in this sector. And almost every conceivable social science can actually look at it, whether it is economics, whether it is political science, or whether it is public administration, or even history, looking at the historical development of it, or commerce, or management, or you name a social science, and I think there is some aspect of it which you can study, and it can really provide very powerful lessons and examples for moving ahead on the development path. So with these few words, I congratulate the Faculty of Social Sciences of PGR Government Degree College, Narayanpura, which has put together this seminar, and also to ICASR, who has been kind enough to fund this, and everybody who's involved, including Professor Malaya and other resource persons who have come to participate and present papers in this seminar. I wish you all the best, and I'm sure that there will be great takeaways from this. Thank you.
Our words are not capable of expressing gratitude, sense of gratitude to yourself. How wonderfully Sir has shared some anecdotes of how, as a project director of Adilabad, how the ROI of women is 100%. So Sir has explained us that yes, the credit worthiness of women is much more than men. Thank you, Sir. And also Sir has shared his experience during his stint as district collector of Krishna district, and how the microfinance institutions has vandalized through unscrupulous means, collected more interest charges from the self-help groups, and how they have overcome all those problems. And Sir excellently has discussed the road ahead, the future of self-help groups. Yes, Sir, definitely we promise you that the key takeaways will be on one of our papers in the Swamy is on building social capital and human development through self-help groups in Telangana, Sir. So definitely we will work more on how we can tap this potential even more and further. Thank you very much, Sir, for your thought-provoking address. Now it's the time to felicitate our guests and dignitaries.
Next last seminar was also sponsored, sir. Thank you, everyone. Our honorable commissioner, Rusa coordinator, so we are also planning to organize organizational seminar, sir, this month under IPSA. Maybe 28th, 28th is the tentative dates. Thank you for your blessings.
Personally come and invite you for this seminar. Now I request our esteemed principal madam, our esteemed keynote speaker, Professor Usha madam, our esteemed guest of honor, Professor Malaya sir, to felicitate our esteemed chief guest of the day, Sri Naveen Mittal sir IAS, a man behind transforming the landscape of Telangana state higher education. All the guests are felicitating our honorable chief guest with a shawl and memento. Thank you very much, sir, for all your blessings on our college. Thank you, sir. Now I request all the dignitaries on the dais to felicitate Professor V. Usha Kiran Madam, the keynote speaker of the seminar. Ma'am, thank you very much for giving us funding, for encouraging us, and for guiding us in the future. Thank you. Thank you. Our esteemed principal madam, our esteemed commissioner sir, our guest of honor, Swamy sir, our coordinator, our organizing secretary, Shanti madam, all are felicitating Professor Usha Kiran madam. Thank you, ma'am. Now I request all the dignitaries to felicitate our guest of honor, Professor L.C. Malay, sir. Thank you, sir, for coming all the way from Lucknow and enlightening us on the key aspects of health and good women. Sir has thrown a different light on how the position of women in Western countries also. Now it's the time to felicitate our esteemed principal madam. I request our Honorable Commissioner of Collegiate and Technical Education and other guests to join us in felicitating our principal madam. Thank you, sir. Thank you, each and everyone. Please be seated, sirs and ma'am. Now I request Dr. C. Shanti Madam, Organizing Secretary of this National Seminar, to propose formal vote of thanks.
A very good afternoon to all the
All our contract faculty members are felicitating our esteemed Commissioner of Collegiate and Technical Education. Thank you, sir, for your guidance, support. Thank you very much, sir.
A very good afternoon to all the dignitaries present here. I deem it a great honor and privilege to propose the vote of thanks for this inaugural session. On behalf of Babu Jagjeevan Government Degree College, I would like to extend my sincere gratitude to Honorable Chief Guest Sri Naveen Mittal, IAS Garu, Commissioner of Collegiate Education, for accepting our invitation, gracing today's seminar and delivering the inaugural address. Your presence has been a source of guidance and inspiration for us. Thank you, sir, for your thought-provoking speech. We are extremely grateful to Professor Usha Kiran, ma'am, Director, ICSSR, SRC, Hyderabad, and Head Department of Commerce, Swamy University, for gracing the occasion and delivering the keynote address. We are very thankful for your valuable suggestions on research and publications, ma'am. I would like to thank our distinguished guest of honor, Professor L.C. Malaya, Head Department of Economics, Baba Saheb Bhimrao Ambedkar University, Lucknow, Uttar Pradesh, for making an excellent presentation and making this seminar very meaningful and interesting. I would like to express our deep gratitude to the Principal Ma'am, Dr. P.V. Geeta Lakshmi Patnaik Madam, for encouraging and providing all the resources in organizing this seminar. I thank Vice Principal S. Radhika Madam and Dr. Muniswamy Sir, convener of the seminar, for their efforts in organizing this seminar. I express my thanks to ICSSR, SRC for sponsoring the seminar, and Commissionerate of Collegiate Education for giving on-duty certificates to the participants. I express my thanks to Dr. Saundarya Ma'am for gracing the occasion. A seminar cannot happen overnight. The wheels started rolling weeks ago, and it requires a lot of resources and teamwork. We have been fortunate enough to be backed by a team of very motivated and dedicated teaching and non-teaching staff. I thank all the teaching and non-teaching staff for their unflinching support and coordination in organizing this seminar. I also thank all the online and offline participants And special thanks to those who came from distant places to participate in the seminar. I thank Radhika ma'am, Surinarayan sir and Girdhar sir for introducing our guests. I express my thanks to press and media representatives for covering the seminar. Our heartfelt thanks to our NSS and NCC volunteers and students for their active participation in the seminar. Thank you, one and all.
ఇంకా ప్రోగ్రామ్ ఉందంట ఇంకా ఉంది నెక్స్ట్ సెషన్ లో ఉందంట అందుకే జస్ట్ తీసేసిన స్వాతి ఇప్పుడు అదే చేసింది యూట్యూబ్ ఆపేసాను సార్ ఒకసారి ముదుస్వామి సార్ వస్తే తీద్దాం అంటే ఇప్పుడు లంచ్ ఉంది కదా లంచ్ ఉంది ఎగ్జామ్ ఉంది ప్రోగ్రామ్ ఏమైనా ఉందా Congratulations.
అరే ఇది పంచా అది రే ఆగురా 27 పార్టిసిపెంట్స్ ఉన్నారు చెక్ చేయి వచ్చిందేమో ఆగురా థ్యాంక్ యూ వన్ అండ్ ఆల్ ఏ ఆగురా Hey, you cannot minimize Zoom meeting when you are recording this meeting, okay?
ఇక్కడ ఆపరా రికార్డింగ్
అదే ఆపాలి ఎట్లా అయిపోయింది ఇంకేం
అడిగే ఫస్ట్ ఫ్లోర్ తీసుకురా వాళ్ళకి
స్టాప్ చేద్దాం ఇంకేంది ఇప్పుడు ఏముందని అందరు ఖాళీగా చేస్తున్నా సార్ బంద్ చేద్దాం అయిపోయింది ఆ ప్రోగ్రామ్ సార్ ఒకసారి చెక్ చేద్దాం ఇది అరే టైర్ పట్టే Thank you one and all. Everyone. Direct message only. కొంచెం మాకుడా నేర్పండి సార్ కొంచెం మాకుడా నేర్పండి సార్ ఇంగ్లీష్
సార్ ఫుల్ మంచిగా ఉంది చార్మినార్ కూడా ఉంది
నాకైతే మొత్తం మలపల్లి సార్ అటెండింగ్ అని పెట్టండి సార్ అయిపోతుంది ఓకే గుడ్ బై సీ యూ టుమారో లేటర్ థ్యాంక్ యూ ఇంగ్లీష్ మేడం ఎందుకు రాలేదు